Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2CTV and the latest update from the US presidential election. Yes, Joe Biden, Smelly Biden, Sleepy Joe, has decided to make things even more difficult for his own party to defend going forward by trying to rig this election and future elections by bribing illegal migrants and those who support illegal immigration to vote for him by giving him access to remaining in America. So, before we start the video, hello to everybody in the live chat. We'll get your reaction. And of course, over here, it's Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day to all you beautiful, beautiful people. Especially the man that gave me everything in my life, my own father. He even sacrificed his own freedom for me to have a better life in the West. He's still obviously stuck in Iran and held by the Islamic occupiers. Obviously, as you guys, some of you know, I haven't seen him in years. We haven't seen each other, but we are both optimistic that one day he will be freed and Iran will be freed. And of course, we can be reunited. Now, let's get on with the show. Let's talk about this man. Oh dear. Now, I'm not really sure about what kind of father he is, considering Hunter has been going around causing chaos left, right, and center. Maybe we should blame Joe and his fatherhood. But, all that aside, there's a bit of an issue here, mostly because when we talk about immigration, mass migration, even in America, is still a big issue right now because of all the ghettos that have been created. Legal and illegal migration is no longer like the 19th century or 20th century. But the problem with the Mexican border has escalated because it's not really just about Mexicans or the cartel. You've got people from North Africa, from the Middle East, from China, going to Mexico to cross the border to go to America. And Joe Biden has decided to send a signal to the current illegal migrants as well as the future ones, saying America is open. Right? You can come and we will give you amnesty. The problem with this is that we all know that part of the reason is to make things difficult for future Republican governments, including the upcoming Trump administration. The other reason that they do this is, of course, to get votes. We know that. It will help them to get votes. And when we say get votes, not necessarily just by getting the illegal immigrants to vote for them, but those on the liberal left and the families and all the other immigrants, including some of the legal ones who are more left-leaning, to be reassured that the US Democrats are the best party for them. So if you do a policy like this, then of course they're all going to vote for you. So the idea is that we've got about 11 million illegal immigrants in America. They're going to do step by step. The White House are going to be using their executive powers to allow a huge number of the illegal immigrants to stay. The gradual escalation is going to be this. Step one, those who have, who are illegal, but they've been married to someone and they've been here for a few years. So that's easy amnesty, right? And of course, same applied to the children and everything else. But this is just the beginning because they want to escalate this policy. So going forward, it could just basically give amnesty to everybody else. It's not really about the existing illegal immigrants, by the way. It's about the fact that even if you give amnesty to half of them, so that's like 6.5 million, right? It's about the fact that you're sending a message saying America is a magnet more than ever before, because it's not just the land of opportunity, but you can actually just come as an illegal immigrant and eventually we'll forgive you. You're going to send a message to the whole world and just everybody just come here. That is going to cause a lot of problems in terms of cultural clashes. The initial policy would benefit the subset of estimated 1.1 million unauthorized immigrants, illegal immigrants with American citizen spouses, as long as they meet the residency requirements and other rules. Overall, there are about obviously 11 million illegal immigrants obviously living in America unlawfully, according to the most recent government estimate. This is just the beginning of the policy, using the executive powers so that the Congress can't stop it. White House officials are also preparing to host an event Tuesday, 2 days from now, to celebrate the 12th anniversary of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. You guys remember that? Yeah, obviously shields are roughly about over half a million undocumented immigrants are brought into the US as children, from obviously, so you don't deport them. Now, there was a lot of conversations about this in terms of compassion, in terms of humanitarian reasons, and there were a lot of Republicans also saying, well, yeah, we can't really go against this policy because there were children back then, it wasn't their choice, what are we going to do about it? They have no links to the original countries, but they always use the slippery slope decisions and easy policies to sell it to you. They say, well, we're just going to look after children. And then they say, well, we're just going to look after those who are married. And then they're going to say, oh, we're going to look after those who work in this industry or that industry. And at the end, they're going to say, well, everybody just stay. That's how it starts. Now, Elon Musk was talking to, obviously, Don Lemon a while back, talking about this issue, saying a disproportionate number of illegal immigrants go to blue states, Democrats. They amplify the effects of a blue state vote. And Elon says, my understanding is that there would be, that the Democrats would lose approximately 20 seats in the House if illegals were not counted in census. And that's also 20 less or fewer electoral votes for president. So illegals absolutely do impact who controls the House and who controls the presidency, even right now. That's why Joe Biden is absolutely adamant to make sure more of them stay, because the actual illegals would vote for the Democrats, their friends and relatives, even if they're legal or US citizens, they would say, Joe helped you to stay, fine, I'll vote for you, I'll vote for him. It's a very dangerous tactic which has been used for a long time, since the 60s, 70s onwards, with the US Democrats as a party, as well as, of course, the Labour Party in this country, in Britain and other places as well. Because this is a tactic that has been proven to be effective if you want to get votes as a centre-left party or left-wing party in general. Are we going to get any backlash? Absolutely. We now have places in Florida and other places as well that are either purple or red states with legal immigrants who've settled, who've integrated in America. They are going to be voting for Trump because they know exactly what trouble is ahead if you just allow people without vetting their backgrounds to come in and illegally breaking law, and then they say, well, it's okay then, you've been here for a while, you can stay forever. It will be those legal, integrated, good migrants who are going to be fighting alongside Donald Trump in order to keep America safe. Because things are getting completely out of control. The situation with the Mexican border is not just about the cartel. It's not just about the Mexicans, whether criminals or some of the ones who can't get to America legally, but they want to go and work, but they end up doing cash in hand. They won't pay taxes. It's not really that. That's the problem. The problem is now they're using the Mexican border to smuggle in people from North Africa, from the Middle East, from Asia. This is the biggest problem that we currently have. Why do we have so many Chinese immigrants going to the Mexican border? And why is nobody asking questions? Why are you in Mexico? It's the same problem we have, obviously, in Britain, when a lot of the North Africans and the Middle Easterns go to France and then get on a boat to come to England. Nobody asks them questions. Like in terms of the actual establishment, nobody asks, you say you came from a war zone country. Didn't you just come from France? Somebody should also ask that question at times 10 when you see a Chinese person coming from Mexico. What were you doing in Mexico in the first place? Why are you here? Why not just stay in Mexico if you feel safe there? If China wasn't safe, and Mexico's clearly safer than China a little bit, right? Good parts of Mexico. Or other places. How did you get there in the first place? But clearly they don't care. And it's not really just about the establishment. The media don't ask these questions. The media should be asking these simple questions. But the media have become the arm of the state. Both in America, especially CNN and all these idiots, CNBC, as well as in this country, BBC, Sky News and all the others. They are the arm of the state. And we saw the perfect example during the lockdown, during the China virus days. 2020, 2021, instead of journalists holding the government to account, asking politicians, so you've come up with this policy to stay at home, for example, lock down the country and the economy. Instead of asking, how did you come up with this policy? Where are the actual evidence? They said no. The media decided to become the voice of the government, the voice of the state, and promoting their policies. And they were doing name and shaming the rest of us if we even tiny bit of a breaking the law. Like sitting on a park bench for 2 minutes instead of keep walking like robots. That's why we're in this mess. let's go to the first super chat of the day. PC says, I hope your father is free one day soon. Thank you very much. Of course, it is Father's Day. To all the obviously happy Father's Day to all the good, beautiful dads out there. Rapid says, 2C, you're my father, Dad. I am your father. Anyway, that's also a good idea. Boycott the mainstream media and subscribe to 2C TV instead. Much easier and better, and hopefully more entertaining as well. A very easy theory: Chinese spies. Obviously, some of them will be among those illegal immigrants, but knowing the history of the CCP and the trend of their behavior, a lot of the Chinese spies actually are sent in a very legal way, a very professional way, saying this is just a Chinese banker, this is just a Chinese businessman. So good luck with it. Of course, there will still be some of them among the illegals coming from Mexico. Weird. But also, this is a very good comment. Mexico must be held accountable for allowing it. That's the other thing. We have the same problem here with the French, with Macron, right? Macron is at least slimy enough to keep coming back every now and then to tell the British government, I'm so sorry, I'm going to try my best to stop the immigrants. I'm really trying, I just can't. At least Macron tries his best to lie or pretend to care. The Mexican government don't even care because they are dealing with Joe Biden. When Trump was in power, the Mexicans were terrified, saying, okay, we're going to do whatever you want to do. But at first, when Trump was a candidate, they were saying, Trump wants to build a wall. Good luck with it. We're not going to help you. The moment Trump became president, they were like, so let's have a conversation. Not that they did anything about it, really, but this is the problem that the US have with successive Mexican governments over the last 30 years or so. Barbara says this happened in Ireland. The illegals were brought in by busloads and had to prove that they had voted for the people who brought them. This ousted the local elections. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. We did it in a lawful way with Tony Blair, where he literally sent out search parties. Tony Blair and Peter Mandelson, the new Labour government, into 2000, sent out search parties. They went to different countries to bring in migrants. The funny thing about that was that they were kind of open about it. I love how they literally thought, because that mentality, the liberal globalist mentality, that's been accelerating since the 90s with Bill Clinton, and then following that, of course, Blair and all the others, Obama. Right now, they're trying to lie to us. Right now, they're a little bit embarrassed that because they've been caught out all these years. So any policy that they have, for example, they wouldn't say we like open borders. They wouldn't say we want to implement open borders. They would just through the back door. Or, for example, they don't say we want to take Britain back into the EU. They want to do it through the back door. But back then, there was a period where they got so arrogant that they were literally open about the fact that they want open borders and mass migration. I mean, I love how people forgot about that. They're like, do you not remember the same people like Blair, who are behind Keir Starmer, the new puppet, who is basically trying to be like, Starmer wants to have strong borders, but also compassionate, open to innocent refugees from the war zone of France. The same Blair that openly bragged about sending out search parties to foreign countries to bring in immigrants. I mean, which Blair do we believe? Can the real Tony Blair please stand up? Because I don't really know which one we're dealing with right now. We know he's always the liar, but, it's very difficult to tell these days which one is which. Obviously, as we always say on 2CTV, Obama is running America behind the scenes. By the way, when we say Obama is running America, or because Obama has been seen around the White House a lot, let's not give it too much credit to him as well. Because when we say Obama, we mean Team Obama, Obama's people, because Obama himself was also a puppet. But it's the people behind Obama. So Biden is the puppet of Obama, but Obama is also the puppet of the actual Democratic deep state. None of the actual politicians as a face, the public faces, are the people in charge. That is the reality. From the days of JFK onwards, it hasn't really happened. We haven't had anybody actually fully being in charge. And those who wanted to be in charge, including Trump, they didn't let him. He's basically come out recently, even with Logan Paul's podcast. Trump basically indirectly said, they didn't tell me everything. The state hold all the secrets. And they're supposed to be telling each president certain secrets, national security, everything else that happens, some of the stuff that happened in the past, CIA plots. And apparently, well, it's not really a surprise, but they didn't fully give Trump all the information that, for example, they might have given someone like Obama or Clinton. So even if somebody wants to be in charge, they don't really give him the information. Hannah's having a meltdown saying you are a conspiracist also. Oh, what happened to the... There we go. What happened? And I love the timing of that. Conspiracy theory, the whole screen went off. I've been taken down. For the record, I do not believe we have a world where a group of lizards are sitting in a room deciding for the rest of us. Just to clarify that. But of course, we have different elements of different groups of vested interests and what we call the so-called deep state that will be influencing depending on the topic, depending on the area. Anyway, as they attack the screen on 2CTV, let's continue before we fully lose the energy and power. Neil says, all you can do is look after your own and say F these C's. They are all the same. Loving the family show, guys. Family show language. Also, it's important to remind you guys, F Joe Biden. Yep. While we are still on the theme of a family show language. Yeah, David says conspiracy cutoff. It was perfect timing. It was just, you can't make this stuff up really. It says, can asylum be reversed? Constitutionally and legally, yes. So as long as you still have your original nationality, we kind of, with a lot of struggle, the British government still did it with Shamima Begum, and she was actually born here, but her parents obviously from somewhere else, Bangladesh, I think. But definitely with those who were originally from somewhere else, if they do something wrong, you can technically, constitutionally and legally reverse it, but it's not going to happen. Not with the liberal establishment being in charge. I mean, the situation is so bad. Let me just tell you a story. Let me show you what we're dealing with, for example, in the United Kingdom. Forget about America. Look at this mess in the UK. So, first things first, the Home Office, in charge of our security, right? They are so concerned about keeping society so united and friendly. Everything they post is just causing more division. Look at this. So today, apparently, it's another Eid. It's every 2 months is some sort of Eid, right? Home Office said, Eid Mubarak to all Muslims celebrating in the UK and across the world. You're the Home Office of the United Kingdom, of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Why do you care about Muslims around the world? Stop it. If it was the Foreign Office talking about across the world, well, okay. The political left are still calling the Home Office some sort of fascist organization with a hostile environment. Blah. You kidding me with this? This woke entity is a fascist organization, apparently. You think that's bad? It gets worse. Look at this. I got more stories for you guys today. This situation is getting completely out of control. So, in case you don't know, the Mayor of London, Sad IQ Khan, is a bit of a wokey, right? Now, yesterday, for this Eid thing, or today, whenever it was, yeah, it was yesterday, he did a video message on X, wishing Muslims in London and around the world a blessed Eid al-Adha, blah, 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 something Eid, from my family to yours, Eid Mubarak, right? On the same day, yesterday, we had Trooping the Colour. In case you don't know, that's the king's birthday thing that they do, the ceremony. He didn't do a video message for Trooping the Colour. A few days ago, we had the D-Day anniversary, 80th anniversary. Sadiq Khan did not do a video message. But for Muslims around the world, the Mayor of London spent taxpayers' money to rally the troops, all the PR officers and the camera people and the people editing videos to get together to do, of course, a video message because it's Eid. And apparently this country is still very much fascist against foreigners. We got the Home Office, the Mayor of London, the Prime Minister, everybody pandering to all the groups. But apparently we are intolerant. Such a crazy, crazy time to be alive, guys. Michael says, I'm sorry, but London voted him back, so they get what it is. They didn't. Okay, so this argument, we really need to improve our education system when it comes to the elections. We need to teach kids how elections works. So, technicality-wise, because not enough people came out, yes, he won their vote. But when you hear the phrases, London voted for him, that means London gave consent. That means the majority in London came out to vote for Sadiq Khan. That's not how it happened. The turnout was the lowest that we had. Everybody stayed at home, and he didn't even get 50% of the vote. So it was the minority of a minority that came out to vote for him. The reason he won was because people in London didn't care enough to even bother to come out to vote against him. That's why he won. The Londoners did not give him consent. It's not like Londoners were happy to vote for Sadiq Khan. They were just stupid enough to stay at home and not bother to vote, which is also as bad as a sin, but they did not say, we like Sadiq Khan. So it's important for people to actually know how elections work. And I'm tired of the fact that the education system do not teach basic politics to people. And people grow up not knowing exactly what... People still think that you vote for prime ministers in this country. I'm getting sick and tired of this myth that we vote for prime ministers. We're not a presidential system. Breathe, Maya, breathe. Vanda says, I'm late joining Maya. Sorry, watching the start from the start. Yeah, do that, because right now I'm just having a meltdown. Snowy L says, Sadiq Khan should be removed with a no confidence vote ASAP. There's also no appetite for that in the City Hall. That's the problem, by the way. If only. Anyway. Lefty traitors are the problem. Too much freedom. Too much. We're being spoiled by having a relatively prosperous and safe country, relatively, obviously, compared to the third world. And you become spoiled and complacent. That's the problem. Andrew says 28 days later, only this time it's real. I do like that film. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to come back later on by giving you guys more updates. There's so much to talk about. There was a problem yesterday with a group of Islamists intimidating an Indian candidate, obviously British citizen, but Indian in terms of ethnicity. But the media don't seem to care, but 2C TV will care. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.